What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with the Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having an amazing Thursday. I'm just going to give it a couple seconds to everyone starts tuning in. Once you guys give me the thumbs up, that will let me know that we are all good to go, and then I'll get started on the technical analysis. So I hope that your guys' morning is going well. This video should be about like 30 to 45 minutes, not too long. So I'm going to be doing a couple technical analysis based on the team's suggestion, and then I'll be following up with a couple stocks as well. So thumbs up, good to go. Sounds good. All right, let's do it, team. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, and you guys should be able to see all this good stuff. So let's. How's everyone doing today? Ricky, can I get a boom, boom, boom? What's going on? What's going on, team? So we have some good news. So for Ford, based on the technical analysis that we did on this 180-day chart, I'm not too sure if you guys remember when we called it out at the support here around the SMA line. It did have its earnings report coming up. We called out the previous resistance right around 1050 to 1060. It looks like that is exactly what happened. I had a positive catalyst for an overall price increase. Increased all the way up to about 1140, 1150, and then it looks like it's now a little bit more on the overbought side. If we look at it, the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it's actually starting to show more signs of a downward pattern now. So something to take into consideration that, it did a lot of this movement. So if you ended up swing trading it, then it would have been smart to cover. But now intraday it's showing more signs of a downward pattern. So, great follow up with this one, and it ended up playing out like we expected. Just unfortunately, a lot of the push up did happen during aftermarket hours, and I know a lot of people probably didn't hold this thing overnight. So just something to take into consideration. This is actually something that I want to show you guys. ESV had a negative catalyst due to its earnings, so it's showing now signs of a downward pattern, which is breaking this overall uptrend pattern. And I have ESV on my active swing trades. So what is it that it's doing there, right? Now I can look over here just to make sure that ESV is in my general watch list. Now that I know that it's in my general watch list, I'm just going to go ahead and erase it to minimize my overall watch list to make sure that I focus on stocks that are actively trending up. Next thing is JNUG. JNUG started to consolidate and actually caught here right around the support, right where the SMA line is, and is really starting to consolidate right below this 180-day EMA. Does it mean that it's going to break? No. I mean, last time it got rejected, but it's something to take into consideration as /GC also tries to recover, but is still being rejected by this EMA line, right? Now, because we have all this margin that we're able to capitalize on, that means the same thing for JNUG, right? JNUG is showing signs of a potential bounce pattern, but just because it has that potential doesn't mean that 100% it's going to do it. So let's make sure that we wait for the confirmation, and that you can add this thing to maybe one of your top stocks or top ETFs to follow up with this one to see if it actively starts trending up, and then to revisit to see if this is something that you want to visit or want to trade yourself. So what I'm going to do is, I have my watch list there as well, but I would encourage you to have maybe a little notepad or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write it down and write a quick little note that JNUG is currently still being rejected by the 180-day EMA. But it is showing signs of a potential reversal, right? And as we can see right now, it's getting a pretty strong push. So what I can do is just put JNUG high alert, so high alert reversal. And the reason that I find this one pretty attractive has to do with the overall understanding of the margin of profit that it has left to recover. It's a pretty decent amount, especially if it can continue to make new highs. The MACD indicator is in its favor, the RSI is in its favor, the overall pattern is in its favor, the /GC future it's in its favor. But again, we need the confirmation, and right now we are not getting it based on the future. So let's make sure that we either wait for the confirmation, or if you want to be extremely risky, which I don't 100% encourage you to do, is if you do the average up position. But I would 100% not suggest for you to take a full-on position and hope that it reverses. I hope that you guys understand what I mean by that. And intraday, obviously it's actively trending up. That's great. So before you get in, if you see potential on the 180-day chart, just make sure that you do an analysis intraday and that you get in at a good price point, either below or near to the middle VWAP as it continues this ascending uptrend. So I want to make sure that whatever it is that I'm saying right now actually makes sense. So if you guys understand my breakdown for JNUG, can I get a thumbs up? Let's see. Can I get a woo woo? Let's see. Nope. I'm not getting a woo woo. I know there's a little delay, so Let's see. Loud and clear. Word. Boom. Like it. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and look at this on the 180-day chart. So we can see that Macy's is still overextended in my opinion. It's not such a good deal right now. Yes, it's actively trading up, and yes, it can continue to rally. But you just have to ask yourself, what's the margin of profit that it has left to cover? And doesn't it make more sense at this price point? So something that I can do right here is something that I'll do is I'll right click. I'm not too sure if you guys knew that you guys could do this. I actually was told that I could do this by one of the members within the group, but you could actually do extend to the right, and then it'll extend the overall resistance or the support resistance line that you draw, or support line. But you could see that the overall resistance is pretty consistent. It's showing to be more on the overbought side. Again, very simple pattern. So what I would like to do is set an alert when it breaks below that specific price point, and then revisit it. That's simple. I'm gonna. Oh man, I apologize if I sneeze too loud in the camera or in the microphone. And then our all-time favorite right now, Diaz, is showing a very strong descending pattern to the overall support and trying to really consolidate right around $26. I called it out from the very beginning that it 100% has potential to drop all the way down to $26 even before I got into my initial position. If you guys want to rewatch maybe a video that I made 3 days ago, even when I called out that, I think it was like when I was at the airport and I was like, hey, I'm getting in with a decent position at around, I think it was $27. I was like, yes, I'm getting in right now, but it's showing signs of a descending pattern, and it still has potential based on previous patterns over here and over here, right, to go to as low as $26 before it actually reverses. And I understood that pattern. I understood that I was getting in a little bit too early, but it was due to the understanding that, you know, if it reversed, I was going to be able to capitalize on it. So if you don't feel comfortable, I got a couple messages asking me about this. If you don't feel comfortable with the pattern and you don't understand it and you don't want to take part of it, then in reality, you probably should have cut losses already, because then there should have already been a potential break of pattern. But to me, I'm just explaining you my thought process. I'm not justifying what is going on your account. Again, this is based on what I originally saw. I see a margin from $28 to $30. It's been a more consistent pattern that it actually breaks below $28 and then it begins to reverse. I actually think that it's not going to hit highs of 30 this time. I actually see signs of a descending pattern with their overall resistance. So with that understanding, I want to make sure that I take that into consideration as it pushes up and as it reverses. And then once I get that confirmation, again, I have all my alerts set up right here. So at the break around 26.60 and at the break of 27, I can consider to cover profits at around $28 to $29. But if I ask myself, what is the margin of profit that this still has left to cover? It's still a pretty decent amount. And if that's not worth it for you, 100%, I 100% understand, don't trade it. Looking at the overall, what's it called, /NG, you could see that /NG is showing signs of it being overextended. Can it continue to rally? Can it shoot up to, 3.628, just like it did last time? 100%, 100%. Just based on previous patterns, it's showing to be more at a resistance, right? So I'm going based off that technical. If you don't want to take that risk, 100%, I understand. So again, I just wanted to explain that thought process and kind of review it with you guys. So now looking at DRIP on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, DRIP is still showing signs of a descending pattern. It does very well and tries to hold within the first couple of minutes of the market open, and then it continues to descend. Again, how do we know something is actively trending down? You should write this down if you did not know this, or if you want to just become more familiar with it. It's when it trades in between the middle VWAP and bottom VWAP, or when it trades between the SMA and the bottom VWAP. That's a very strong descending pattern. And I mean, you can still make money off of it, right? If you know how to capitalize on the dip buys and be able to scalp it up, but just that margin of profit usually isn't that much. But it's up to you, right? Right now, we're seeing some consolidation. It's really trying to build a support at around that $8 price point for DRIP. But again, no signs of a reversal just yet. I need this to break and hold above $9 before I consider swing trading it. So yeah, just wanted to cover that very quickly. And yeah, Gusher's the one that's still actively trending up, really trying to consolidate, but the EMA line is still pointing up, which is in favor of Gush, and understand that the next resistance is at around $36. Let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. All right. So one thing that where is it at? So JDST was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. But as you guys can see right now, there's I mean, I talked about the inverse of JNUG, and now that's trying to catch. So we're just going to have to follow up. So I have all my alerts set for JNUG and for the potential reversal. I also have my alerts set for JDST to see if this actually, oh, I thought I did. What the heck? To see if this is actually showing more of a peak formation. I would actually be surprised if JDST actually begins to reverse. But what we can do is we could set our alerts if it continues to rally, and if it breaks above 50.35, which would be highs of day. So this one's showing a little bit more on the overextended side. I don't like that one anymore. I don't like send either. Too low volume. It just doesn't meet my criteria. This is a descending pattern. I don't know how this one got here. Give me one quick second, team. One quick second. I apologize. I've been having some allergies lately, so I do apologize for that. All right. Here, let's see. Let's see what the a family roommate meeting. No, it's not a meeting. Just have some allergies. Okay, so we got someone calling out a couple of different stocks. A lot of people talking about the natural gas reports right now. No. Let's see. I just wanted to make sure that. All right. Appreciate that. Thank you. What about ticker symbol I? Yeah, so all right, let me go ahead and I'm going to dedicate some time to start breaking down some stocks for the team, and then we can go from there. Does that sound okay? Yeah, so a lot of people are asking about the natural gas reports. So someone said that it was in like 12 minutes. It's not in 12 minutes. It's right now it's 6:54 and it's at 7:30 my time. So it's about in 36 minutes right now. So if anything, as we get a little bit closer, I think that this thing, or for DGAS, right now it's starting to show more signs of an uptrend. What I can do is, as it gets closer, I have my alert set here. So then I'll probably cover my position, and then I'll choose to revisit it after. So yeah, don't be too worried about that. I am pretty set. If like right before, I'm keeping a very close eye on the time. So thank you again for being very considerate and worrying about my current position. So I honestly really do appreciate that. So for ticker symbol IO, we are seeing signs of a consistent ascending uptrend pattern. Again, the overall resistance at around $30. I personally don't think that this margin is worth it. If you do and you like the consistent pattern, then you know it 100% makes sense. Do you guys understand this ascending uptrend pattern and how it continues to push up? The overall resistance at $30. This offers about 3% margins. So even if you don't end up taking a position, I would encourage you to revisit IO. So if your goal is anywhere from 3 to 5% a week, then this might be something that you might want to keep a close eye on, and not just the ticker itself, but try to search for patterns that are very similar to IO. So just something for you guys to take into consideration. So ticker symbol MU. We already broke down MU as well. We broke it down, I think, 1 or 2 days ago. It looks like it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern today. So that's great and all. Let's just make sure that we understand that it has been showing signs of a consistent descending pattern, and that this SMA line has been acting as a resistance, as we could see this curling pattern. So as it continues to push up, just understand that this SMA line might act as a resistance. So as long as you take that into consideration, I'm all for it. Also, that the $50 price point might be a resistance as well. So just something that you guys might want to revisit as you swing trade this one and potentially want to cover profits or want to ask the question, where is it a good buy? Where is it a good sell? And where should I cut losses? Well, you should understand the pattern that it's showing right now. It's similar to the pattern that it had before. So you want it to continue to follow and this ascending uptrend pattern and hold above this SMA line, right? Pullbacks are inevitable, but as long as it continues to hold above this SMA line, then it would make sense. So as long as you understand that pattern, if you want to wait till the break above 50 and capitalize from $50 to maybe highs of 53 as close to the SMA line as you can, then all power to you. Just understand that it doesn't actually have to hit that price point. So thank you again for the great call out. Do you ever get into a stock strictly for dividend payouts? Zach, no, I don't. That's a good question though. That doesn't mean just because I don't, doesn't mean that you can't, right? So if you like the idea of that and your dollar value that you have invested is worth what it is that does, then all power to you. It definitely makes sense. MU is getting a pretty solid push up right now. MU just had a break above the, yeah, there we go. So it looks like it's trying to trade in between the middle view up and the top view up now, and it's starting to push back up again. So that's actually pretty nice. So let's go ahead and talk about KEM. KEM, this one's a little bit volatile, and if I'm not mistaken, the volume isn't really there. Yeah, the volume is pretty low on this one. Just something to take into consideration. What we can see here is that it's showing a pretty consistent pattern from lows of like $17.40 to highs of almost $20, but last time it got rejected. So just make sure that you take that into consideration. The margin of the spread actually is not bad. So just make sure you take into consideration that right now it's still trading below this SMA line, and as long as you understand that and that it has the potential to reverse, it has a pretty consistent kind of like roller coaster pattern, right? So as long as you understand that, let's actually just draw some support lines. So around $17, right? That's really where the support is at. And if we want to be conservative, let's draw the resistance at around $18, obviously, or 19, I apologize. Obviously, it's exceeded 19, but again, just trying to think about what the margin has to offer. From low to high end, it's a little bit over 11%. So this is definitely something that might be worth looking into. But again, even when it's actively trending down below this SMA, it could easily get rejected, and then it begins to push back up. So again, just be patient and wait for that confirmation. So I appreciate you calling that out again. PBR, you guys have much better callouts today. The past couple of days, we could have done better. I felt like I was breaking down. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. We're actually going to be implementing something for callouts that for all those that have like callout suggestions. It's going to go based off of someone reviewing it first, and then once we do these live chats, I'll be doing those technical analysis on the ones that actually make sense. So. There we go. So do you guys see this pretty consistent pattern, right? And it's doing the same thing right now. So I think that's actually what our buddy's calling out. Let's see, PBR 1353. Yep. Okay. So it's now showing signs of this. Like, do you guys see this like consolidation around this price point? And now it's not actively. It's still actively trending down below the 180-day EMA, but it's actually starting to show a push up, and it makes sense because this is normally within the area of where it begins to reverse. So taking that into consideration, it makes sense on why there would be a solid push up to the overall resistance here at around 1450. So let's say that, what I can see is that there's probably pretty low volume, but let's say you can get in close to 1350 and sell close to 1450. The margin should be around 7.26%. That's not bad at all, right? Volume isn't that bad. And right now it's trading in between the middle view up and top view up, and that's pretty attractive. So, good call on that one. We're getting a solid push up. That's pretty sweet. Glob. That's a funny ticker. Okay, so pretty low volume. And still a descending pattern. Yes, it does show signs for a potential reversal, but do you see how sometimes it takes quite a while for it to actually reverse? What I would do is actually not only wait for the reversal, but for there to be a break of resistance, especially as we're getting very close to that price point right now. Yeah, I would set an alert at around $56, the break above 56. So if it actively starts pushing up, then it would make sense on why we might want to take this into consideration. And also, let's just set our alerts. Let's see if it continues to actually continue to push down, and maybe for the break below 42. There we go. Yeah, so Brandon is asking a little bit for more elaboration on how I plan to exit on Diaz. Guys, please, like me explaining to you, like what I've been noticing is just this pattern, this consolidation at around 2640. That's all. And this consolidation and this push. So that's actually what it is that I'm looking for one more push. I'll exit there, and that's pretty much it. So it looks like it's actually going through some consolidation right now. We might begin to reverse. So again, just because that's my plan doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen. Please have an exit plan yourself and something that makes sense, and not just relying on my specific trades itself. Yep. Again, Blake, that's not how we call out stocks. And we talked about that one yesterday as well. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of consolidation around this SMA line, and it has a nice little push up from time to time to the overall resistance at around maybe 2450. Do you guys see this? Around 2450 right here. And then it's kind of near or close to the support. So I would wait for an actual push up. I would wait for this thing to actually break maybe around $23 and actually begin to hold, because right now it's not holding. If you get in right now, you're getting in before the confirmation, and the MACD indicator bars are still getting bigger. So not something that I would really encourage anyone to do. I do like the pattern, but I also do see the risk of this thing to continue to curl and then start trending down. So make sure you understand that. But if you understand the support being, if you want to give yourself like a 1 to 2% stop loss below the SMA line, and you want to take a position now and then potentially sell close to or near to $25, which has been the overall resistance, it makes sense. Just make sure that you have a plan. We've already talked about that multiple times. So /CL is an actual future. SPSIOP is not a future itself. So yes, this one, and SPSIOP follows the pattern for drip and gush more accurately, but the whole point of us looking at futures is to see how it's trading like after market hours and stuff like that, and that's not something that SPSIOP does. So we're still seeing sense. Again, guys, this is all before the confirmation. So what I can do here is I can set an alert for $50. Thank you again for the call out, but it's still showing signs of a descending pattern. So maybe you're just calling it out before the actual reversal. And based on your technical analysis, you set entry point at $51, exit at 58. 58, that definitely does make sense. So good technical analysis there. And 58 is pretty conservative based on the previous patterns. So I like that. And let's just keep it there. And for the reversal around like $50 to $51 definitely does make sense. So that's why I'm drawing have my alert there. And then the SMA line, it's been showing signs of this ascending uptrend pattern. So it makes sense there. This is a therapeutic company. I don't like those. I don't like pharmaceutical companies. I don't like therapeutic companies. I don't like any of those. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, oh, your first call out ever. Thank you again, bud. Appreciate it. SLV. So SLV is still actively trending down. Again, let's wait for the reversal. Very simple thing that we can do is again, how do I know that it's actively trending down? It's being rejected. You see this? multiple times. It tries to push up and then gets rejected by the EMA line. It consolidates right now. We need to wait for the break above the EMA. So what I can do here is I can set this alert, and then once it gets alerted, I can revisit this and to see something that, if there's a break of pattern or something like that. So MU with a really nice push up. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so let's kind of be done with these technical analysis. I think that's, yeah, so we're pretty much done with it anyways. But yeah, I'm just going to start answering a couple questions that are just in general about like just maybe some questions that you might have wanted to ask me over direct message. So let's just go over that, and then we'll go from there. So Ricky should go long on that Chipotle stock. Let's see. Thanks for bringing it. I've had a bunch of stocks. Okay, of course. Thank you again, Muhammad, for calling or following up with the KEM breakdown. So if you have any questions or anything like that, again, we go live every single day. So if you want to follow up with it, or if you want to remind the team or alert the team about something that you see value in, then understand that we do have the group alerts, and that you can always talk to people in the main chat as well. A little late, woo woo. So I think you should, right now for Gush itself, especially as we're seeing that that's a little bit more on the overextended side, you should take into consideration on how it is overextended, but also it is actively pushing up. So if you want to be a little bit risky, then what you can do is you can wait till there's a complete break of pattern, which there hasn't been just yet, or you can start to cover positions as it continues to push up. So whatever it is that you want to do. 35% done with LPP. MU has a nice push up. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so we have a call right there. Yeah, just not doing those just right now. So one question has been, we've been in a bull market the past few years. How would your strategy change when we're in a bear market? So it definitely would change, but just because we have a general understanding of how patterns work, that's why I'm focusing so much on understanding uptrend and descending patterns, because if you could really understand that, then even in a bull or bear market, there's always ways that we can work around it, right? Especially on the technical standpoint. So it would be more of like, once we see a confirmation of a solid downward pattern, then it'd be taking like short positions. But right now we're still in a bull market, so I'm not too worried about that as of now. Really, really happy to hear that, Clayton. Sounds like you're killing it. So if there's anything, so also like Clayton, since you've been doing so well, one thing, and 100% you guys don't have to do this, but one thing that I would challenge you guys to do is, as you guys continue to improve yourselves as traders and learn new things, to share it within people, or share it with people within your group. So even if it's just one individual, try to make a friend within the Learn Plan Profit group. Someone that you could follow up with that will hold you accountable. Actually, that's something that I'll talk to Justin about to see if we can set people up in pairs. But it's just, we'll have to set up some form of program and make sure that both groups or both individuals are active to make sure that you guys are held accountable, or yeah, so we'll figure something out. But if you guys can even just get started now and get someone within the group to hold you accountable, and that you hold accountable for your trades, your follow-up, again, no BS, not making each other like feel bad about, hey, I did good, you didn't, and stuff like that. It's just about assisting one another and really trying to make each other like better traders and better individuals and better investors in general, right? Because we all see value in different ways, and I'm sure that different perspectives can really act as catalysts for overall assistance. So thank you again. Okay, sounds good. I definitely will do that. I did it again. I do apologize. All right. I made it now. No, there's definitely high volatility within the first 15 to 30 minutes of the market open. It's like the last hour that they call power hour, right, of the market open. There's definitely more volatility, and there's more just people trading, right? So it definitely does make sense. There's a lot of action that can happen, especially if you have a really good setup. Again, it all has to come down to like people focus too much on like like in general, time frames like the first 15 to 30 minutes, it makes sense, especially for like momentum trading and stuff like that. But all you guys should be focusing on are your patterns. And if your patterns are actively trending up, if it makes sense and the margin of profit is worth it, it doesn't really matter. Like, yes, even during the morning hours, there might be a push up or a push down, just know that. But in general, like if your pattern is a solid pattern, and it will outweigh everything else. So just have that to be your top priority. Let's see. Ricky, what do you do when you're not making money? Well, if you're asking like what I do on my free time or something like that, I like something that I do on my free time is really just taking naps. It's something that like, and I want to apologize because there's a lot of work that I have to catch up on. And I know you guys always tell me to not apologize, but yesterday was such a weird day, team. I think it had to do with my lack of sleep, and I'm actually feeling like I'm getting a little sick. But with like my team that came over from California, we were spending 2 days here, and it was just nonstop. Like I had to like not care for them, but like, you know, they were my guests. And there was a series of work and videos that they had me like film and stuff like that. And it was just like a series of projects and decisions and meetings that we had. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just like a little different. And the amount of sleep that I've like gotten in the past 48 hours, not including last night. Last night I went to sleep at like 12 or 1 o'clock, so it wasn't that bad. But I was going to sleep at like 2 in the morning or at 4 in the morning, and then trying to wake up at like 6 or 6:30, right before market open. First of all, it wasn't fair for the Learn Plan Profit group. As in you guys, because I was spending too much time focusing on that, which then made me not prepared for the morning. So I do want to apologize for that. But yeah, yesterday was just a weird day. I was just completely out of it. I tried to take naps throughout the day, like when I had like breaks, and I just felt completely out of it. The food that I was eating, it was just not good. And yeah, it was just weird. So hopefully I can get back into my routine today. But yesterday was one of my weirdest days. Like I have not had such a, it was not even like a depressing day. It was just like, it was just weird. I felt very uncomfortable with the entire day. So I don't know if you guys have ever had those days, but yeah, it kind of sucked. Yeah, we'll follow up with Snap right now. Yep. Let's see. No, yeah, I thank you. I appreciate that, everyone here. No, Brandon, we can't do that. So I wish. So where's the education tab within Thinkorswim program? I'm not too sure. I think it would be under maybe like the support or on-demand thing. Yeah, so you can check that out. I'm not too sure about that. I've never actually used that. Yeah, take the power naps. That's definitely, that'd be solid. Get some canes, yeah. No, and I think this has to do with overall like productivity and stuff like that. And if even with like, and this can be a great like example for a lot of you. How many of you guys, especially when you're just getting started in like trading, right? And maybe some of you I might be catching. I've made videos like to push you guys to continue and to continue to motivate you and stuff like that, especially with trading. But how many of you guys, as you just get started with trading, or even like right now, aggressively like take on so much, like even with your day-to-day lives, right? We're probably busy people, all of you, right? And then you take on the task of trying to learn a new market. And although I did make everything in about 7 hours, you have to understand that it takes time to understand that. It's about 20 to 30 minutes a day that I would actually encourage you to dedicate to learn something new and then test it. Test the waters, like after you learn it, just to make sure that it sticks. Because once you take in 7 to 8 hours of information and then you have to test it like every single day and stuff like that, and if you do that for 1 or 2 weeks, it can be so draining, not only in like emotionally, but like also like physically, just because of how I get it though. Like we get really excited and like we don't want to do anything else but just focus on this. But also you have to know that like, you know, it takes time to get to that specific point. So we just got JDST. Wow, JDST just pushed up and /GC just pulled back. So congrats to all those. Again, that's why it's so important to wait for the reversal. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have been feeling drained within the past couple of days or have been feeling overwhelmed with overall market conditions. But just take a step back and just focus on like just small consistent times, like, you know, throughout the week, just so you don't discourage yourself and overwhelm yourself. So I think that's what I like that. So Alan Watts says, listen to Joe Rogan's podcast about sleep deprivation from yesterday with Matthew Walker, episode 1109. I really appreciate that. Like, I love when you guys send me videos about like motivation or overall mindset or like, you know, sleeping habits and stuff like that. Like, that's what I love. Sometimes when you guys send me videos on like funny stuff and stuff like that, like, I don't really watch like funny videos. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I uploaded, not uploaded myself, but that I shared about like the sleep deprivation. And then I actually didn't know that I was doing it, but I normally get about like, you know, 3 to 5 hours of sleep, so 4 on average. And that there's a lot of people, like based in history, that did that just so they have more hours to work throughout the day and overall more days throughout the years and stuff like that, right? I actually didn't know that that was, I was just doing it because I had so much work that I had to do that's kind of what I needed to do. And I really find like those videos to be very like informative and helpful and kind of make me feel like, you know, I'm not by myself when it comes down to like these weird habits that I feel like I take on. So if any of you guys have ever felt that way or anything like that, you know, just be sure to like YouTube it or something like that, and I'm sure that there's a lot of good information that can, you know, better guide you in the right direction. So yep, so mindset is definitely a huge part. Oh, appreciate that, Jester. Appreciate that. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it. Yeah, buddy system. So that's definitely, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a note to make sure that we make that top priority and work on that. So we just got rejected by DGAZ. And it looks like, where's JDST? No, it's not up there. Yep, I agree. Yep, that's actually not a bad idea based on the overall account value and stuff like that. So we'll figure out certain ways and we'll test it. And again, that's why we're a group, and whatever ends up happening, if we have to change it up and stuff like that, then it definitely makes sense. But again, let's not wait for me to make the decision on or actually implementing like some form of system. You see people messaging right now that they want that buddy system. So we had Dawn that said that. We have what is it? We have Hudson. So if you guys want to want a buddy or want to, even if you guys want to have like smaller groups, right, within like Learn, Plan, Profit, or not even smaller groups, but just like we want to get in contact with just one individual, then just go under the main chat, or actually not in the main chat. Let's just do like off topic just to alleviate some of the messages. So let's go to the off topic and be like, maybe you can make a little quick like summary about like where it is that you are as a trader, that you're just getting started, and if you're a good trader, then maybe you can assist them. And again, I think that's kind of like the system that I would like, for it not to be like two very talented traders, for it to be like one talented, maybe one that is just getting started, and then the one that is talented is again, I can assure you that if you teach others like what you already know, it's going to help you even better. So I think that whole system can work very well. So just make sure that you look for someone that is either better than you, or that you educate someone on trading as well. So but yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. Looks like we've been live for about, what is that, 40 minutes? Yeah, about 40 minutes. So, whoa. So thank you guys again so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Yes, teach me how to fish. Sounds good. So yeah, that's actually not a bad idea for people within your own area. Just be considerate about like if people don't want to share where it is that the city or stuff that they live. Maybe it could just be within the same state. So Just take that into consideration. I'm going to be setting up a couple alerts, and I'll be setting up follow-ups under the trade idea section for the Learn Plan Profit group. So I'll be keeping you guys up to date on what it is that I decide to do. But if you guys can give this video a thumbs up, that would be great. Totally understand if you guys can't. I hope that you guys all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and get some lunch, and then going to get the day started. I'll be catching up on some Discord messages. So I 100% want to thank you guys again for your time. Hope you guys all have a beautiful Thursday. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives you in your success. And if there's anything that I can do to better assist you, or that you would like me to implement within the Learn Plan Profit community, direct message me or Justin. So really, if it's an idea, please direct message Justin, just because he's going to be a little bit more available and he's going to respond to you a little bit quicker. And we would love to assist you as soon as possible, or implement your idea. So thank you guys again so much for your time. Hope you guys all have a beautiful Thursday. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.